I'm here today in Mount Washington where I live, out in nature, and I want to bring a little message to you from Hummingbird, because now that we're all self-isolating, it has a very severe impact on a lot of families. I'm very fortunate to work at home, and I don't have children, but the change in our lifestyle is impacting all of us. So I thought today we could look at some healing and happiness, the message that Hummingbird brings to us. So Hummingbird's message is, hover at the heart center, be in that moment and delight in the pure joy of being alive. Happiness is appreciation. And especially now, we have to try and focus on what we do have and not what we don't have. And if we stay centered and focused in our heart center, we have less fear, and we have more trust in the way this whole thing is going to pan out. Hummingbird appears as if she has shown up just for us. Flirting before our eyes, she pervades us with light. Gratitude rises with her joyful spirit, and we experience a momentary break from our habitual thoughts and mind attacks. From all of those things that subconsciously we're harboring, and we feel depressed and we may not know why. We can feel stressed and not even realize it. When we see Hummingbird, just think about her presence. It really is awesome. Just for that moment, we come out of our distraction. We are where we should be all the time. Not should be, but that we would like to be all the time. So when we forget ourselves, and that means when you get out of your mind, get out of your head, we remember our true essence. The Spirt Animal Hummingbird has imparted her message. Training our minds to be joyful might take some practice, because negativity, we naturally gravitate toward negativity. To be in that joyful, momentary state of appreciation, we do need to train our minds. And we can do that just by noticing our thoughts and noticing when we go back into that fearful mode. You know, notice when you have thoughts of lack. You're in the grocery store, the shelves are empty, and you kind of maybe panic. Or maybe you're frustrated, maybe you are angry that other people are hoarding, or that you have to come back again another time to go shopping. Whatever it might be, catch yourself in those moments and turn it around and have appreciation. Appreciation that you're in the store, appreciation that you're able to get to the store, appreciation that you're alive. This is what Hummingbird's message ultimately is the appreciation of just being alive. We may feel happiness is selfish while others suffer in the world, or that we don't deserve to be happy as we keep our wounds festering. Maybe dissatisfaction has become a habit, leaving us feeling blasé about life. Our indifference sabotages our joy. Hummingbird Spirit Animal knows that healing begins at the heart center. With her long tongue, she penetrates beyond the bitterness to the sweetness of the flower's core. We too can penetrate through the bitterness of our sorrows and circumstances and delight in the sweetness and core of our being, the pure joy of being alive. Now you may want to, at this time, especially because we're self-isolating, a good time to meditate, a good time to do yoga. There's a lot of free online classes now because people are offering their services out of compassion and just the goodness of their heart. So these practices will really help reduce stress. They'll help you to center. They'll help to bring you back to that peaceful part of yourself that might very easily be lost in times like this. Another way is to spend time with your animals, because we know how much they nourish us and they take care of us, and how they help us to get out of our heads and to drop down drop down into the body, drop down into the heart center. That's where our joy is. In our animals, you know just being around them makes you happy. And the same thing when we're in nature. So spend more time with nature. If you have children, take them out. Have them really explore more. Look at how many insects do they see on the ground. How many animals do they see. Maybe write a story about the raven flying. What does the raven eat? What does the raven do in a day? What would you say if you were a raven? I used to teach art to children and animal communication. And one thing I would teach them, I would say, well, what color are the leaves in the tree? And they'd say green. And I'd say, no, let's go look a little bit closer and be more specific. And so they would start to see the yellow-green and the blue-green and the reddish colors and the brownish colors and so many colors that make up that one shade that we blanket as green. So to get your children now is a good time for self-awareness, to really expand out and become more aware of their surroundings. Not to just look at the branches of the tree, but the negative space in between the branches. To see beyond the tree, to see the space around the tree. So you get the picture. They can come home after their walk and they could make a map of where they've been. So there's many ways where we could now take this opportunity to really go inward and connect again with ourselves. And through meditation, through yoga, through our animals, and through nature. Nature is very restorative, and again, just like our animals, nature is free of ego, free of, it's neutral, it's a neutrality, and we automatically connect to that frequency, to that neutrality, and that's why we feel so good in nature. Because it brings us back to our core, to our peace, and that's who we really are. So happiness is our appreciation for each moment here. We have one body, we take it for granted. Think about what your body does for you, how your heart is beating automatically, how your organs are functioning by themselves. We don't have to do anything. We don't have to think about breathing. It just happens. And this is really such a miracle to be alive in our bodies and to just really appreciate life because it's here now. The hummingbird flutters up, down, back and forth, and in a figure 8, the symbol of infinity. At tremendous speed, she appears motionless. With training, we too can be in the midst of activity and remain still. So no matter where you are, come back to that heart center, drop down, and remain here no matter what's going on around you. That's your still point, and your still point is infinite. Remember to hover at the heart center, rest in that moment, and appreciate the sweetness. Drink deeply from the nectar of life. It's yours. So that's the message for hummingbird. And now I'd like to do the meditation with you, and it's called the Sitali Pranayama. It's one of my favorites. It's very cooling too for the body, very relaxing, good to do in the summertime when you're hot. So this is the breath. This is called the breath of nectar of life. So we're going to sit in easy pose, and you don't have to sit in easy pose. You can very easily just sit naturally, but don't cross your legs. You want to keep your, I prefer easy pose, but I'll do it this way just to show you that you can just be relaxed, but you want to keep your spine straight. You don't want to be hunched over. So you're going to, I'm going to read this, you're going to curl the tongue and extend the tip of the tongue just past the lips and curl it. Now my tongue doesn't curl so well, but it doesn't matter. I'm still sipping in the air and I'm still getting the effect. So your tongue is coming out of your mouth just a little bit and curling in a U shape. And you're going to sip the air through the open mouth over the curled tongue, and you're going to exhale it through your nose. So you pucker your lips a little bit slightly. And we're going to do this for 2 to 3 minutes. It doesn't say where our hands are, so you can just keep them. I usually keep my hands in Gyan Mudra, which is the forefinger and thumb touching, and the other 3 are straight up. And you can just put them on your hand, on your knees. And if you want, you can just keep your palms up on your knees if that's comfortable for you. So let's do this for 3 minutes. Do I have my phone? I'm going to set my alarm. Thank God for our cell phones. Thank God for the internet. Thank God we can communicate online. And here we go. So wherever you are, let's just come into our bodies and let's just focus for a moment on our breathing and feel the contact of the soles of your feet against the floor. Relax the shoulders, relax the hands, relax the face and the eyes, and just focus on your heart center. Take a nice deep breath in and exhale it out. And let's begin. A nice deep inhale through the mouth. Now continue this. As you do it, you could keep your tongue in that U shape. Sometimes it creates a lot of saliva, so I tend to close my mouth as I'm exhaling through the nose. So either way, you can keep your mouth in that position, or you can close it as you exhale. And take a nice inhale here. Keep your eyes closed. Hold the breath. And exhale and relax. Keep your eyes closed and just feel the sensations in your body. How much more relaxed you feel. How good your head feels. This brings more oxygen into your body. So it says here, this Kriya, the exercises, the meditations, this Kriya is good to do 26 times in the morning and 26 times in the evening. It gives you vitality and strength. Whenever you get a fever, sickness, discomfort, do this Kriya. It is a cure from within. At first the tongue will taste bitter, but with practice the taste of the tongue will become sweet. Once it becomes sweet, you will have overcome all sickness inside. People who practice this Kriya have all things come to them by the planetary ether. In mystical terms, they are served by the heavens. Sitali pranayam is the best breath of the nectar of life, which cools. Sometimes you don't understand the breath through the rolled tongue. It is a very cooling breath. It's best for your kidneys. It's wonderful for the adrenals. It's absolutely wonderful for the urinary system. Best for testosterone and helpful for the pituitary. Very good health. A very good breath. Sitali breath takes away poisons from your spleen, liver, and digestive system. That's why when you first start practicing it, your tongue might taste bitter because you're releasing toxins. And after a while, it will become very sweet. So that's your hummingbird message for today, and I hope that you spend time with nature, spend time with your animals, and we're all going to get through this together. Sat Nam.